Hey guys, what's up? I'm Jenna, your host here at Jenna X. Thanks for joining today. Guys, I have a really cool guest with me today. His name is Farhaan Dawood, and he is the CEO and founder of Frii. If you do not know what they are, well, you're sure going to learn today. Frii is on a mission with Zum to make cryptocurrency payments with rewards a practical, everyday reality without burdening the merchants with a separate payments system. We're going to get into all of that, and we're also going to have a separate live Q&A after the interview. So I encourage you all, if you are watching live with us, to drop into the chat and put your questions down there, because if we do not answer them in the interview, I'll make sure that we hit them afterwards. But before we jump in, I want to give a shout out to my Jenna X YouTube sponsor, digitalpop.io. At Digital Pop, you can purchase tokenized design services from Lisa Lopuk. She is an OG graphic designer from the Silicon Valley and has worked with top brands such as Disney, Apple, and Monster Energy. And she has given my YouTube a branding makeover with super easy to use templates for me for all my thumbnails, guys. So go check out digitalpop.io for your professional design services. All right, without further ado, I would like to welcome my first guest, Farhaan. Hey.
Hello. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing amazing. How are you doing?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good.
Well, awesome. I'm excited to have you on here today because, what you're doing is, this is adoption to me. To be able to actually pay and use my Sum wallet at, merchants all over. This is huge. And this is what adoption looks like to me versus, a Visa or Mastercard. You're actually doing it. So I would love for you to introduce yourself and just share a little bit about your background.
Hi, yeah. As you said, I'm Farhaan Dawood, the founder of Frii, and you're exactly right. Our mission is to get the blockchain adopted without using Visa or Mastercard on existing solutions that already exist at retail point of sale. My history really started with payment in the UK some 20-something years ago. We moved from paper. I don't know how old you are, whether you remember. We used to have paper and a little zip-zap machine, and then you would have to take that slip into the bank and bank it. And Visa or Mastercard found that was not working for them, and they wanted to move to a more electronic solution. And really, the UK was pioneering this for Visa or Mastercard. And I was very fortunate that I was allowed to be part of that project, where on one side you had a tech team that didn't really have a product to copy, they had to invent something. And on the other side, you had, bankers with a commercial model that they wanted to tick. And really, they needed somebody in the middle to help navigate. And I was young and I enjoyed technology and I'm a trained accountant. So I got the financial side of it. And really, that project really opened my eyes and gave me the best introduction into what we now use as payment every day. So, that was really my start in the payment journey, and I really have to owe Visa or Mastercard and Verifone, some of the terminal manufacturers, a lot, because allowing me to play the game so early, when it was being designed rather than being deployed, it's a completely different beast, and that really gave me an insight into payment. And since then, it's become an obsession. I just like to push the boundaries of payment, and that's what I've been doing for the last 20 years. And now I'm happy that I'm now pushing that to blockchain and hopefully connecting that blockchain to traditional retailers.
Oh, I love that. And that you can bring all of your knowledge and experience to this space. I've got to apologize because I was pronouncing the name wrong, as in Frii. Like
yeah, it's Frii. And I'll explain that to you a little bit later on in our interview. That's fine.
That makes
you're not the first person to make that mistake. That's a little bit of education we have to do from our end.
Awesome. Well, could you explain about your business, Frii and what it does?
Yeah, so really, Frii is on a mission to connect the blockchain, like I said, to existing points of sale. I've been studying the blockchain for a little while. I studied technology, as technology moves, I try and move point of sale to that technology. And a few years ago, blockchain arrived, and I found that this is the future technology that retailers will be connected to. But I see projects that are trying to deploy separate. There's a Web 2 world and a Web 3 world, and it doesn't work that way. You really, for a product to become a mass market product, it needs to sit side by side traditional products. And what Frii has really done is it's provided now a mechanism that traditional retailers with the device they already have on the counter can get a free upgrade to the application they use that now has Visa and Mastercard and crypto all on the same device on the same screen at the same time. So when it comes to choosing how to pay, the retailer can just ask the consumer Visa or crypto and press one button rather than a separate device or a separate application. And our mission really is to get blockchain connected to pretty much every retailer that takes Visa or Mastercard should be able to take blockchain solutions as well.
Okay, so from the business standpoint, is there anything, what does the business have to do to apply to get this? Is there a wait list?
Yeah, so it's actually the exact same as applying for Visa or Mastercard. You know, one thing that I've learned, you know, when we started with Visa or Mastercard sort of 25 years ago, you know, it's taken them 20 years to evolve to where they are today. You know, that learning that I've learned over the last 20 years, we have to apply that same learning to crypto. You know, crypto can't do what Visa was doing 20 years ago, otherwise it will make the same mistakes that Visa made 20 years ago. So as long as we're using the same rules and regulations as Visa does for risk management, for pricing, you know, all of those things, just apply them to crypto means that really anyone can take crypto. And as long as you have a terminal, you're ready to go within a few days.
Easy.
Well, we're trying to make it as easy as possible. That's one of the things, you know, you look at some of the projects out there, you know, we spoke to a company the other day, you know, their mission is to put 50 million new devices into the world. You know, if they only knew how hard it is to get a device signed up by a retailer, deployed, maintained, you know, it's a very expensive project that you're on, time consuming, expensive, and it's just not going to work. So this is actually the only way that it's going to work.
Absolutely. So let's talk about this digital loyalty program. And I do see you have all kinds of brands and everything in the back of you as well. So as I understand it, that I read on the website, it does not require any personal data. Can you explain how this program works?
Right. So if you think now, once we connect the ledger to the point of sale, the ledger can do, you know, with the first ledger we've connected is the XRP. And it can do so much, right? So payment is only one application, but really to get mass market, another thing that I've learned over these years is technology. Just because you deploy technology, just because a retailer can take crypto payments, doesn't mean a consumer is going to go in and want to pay, especially the mass market. So you have to create a reason for them. You know, there has to be some compelling reason for a consumer to change his habit. They have to get something more, something better. So what our plan is that we're going to deploy 3 products. One will be payment, one will be loyalty, and one will be couponing. And these 3 products are probably the core products that a retailer and a consumer will engage with. And the loyalty is one of those pieces of the puzzle. And our loyalty program really is pushing consumers to demand, you know, when you go to a retailer, you spend your hard-earned money, you know, you should be rewarded in some way, shape, or form. And the reward that you get should be something that you want. It should be delivered to you easily, you know, in real time, not having to go on and see how many points you have and convert them to something that you don't even want. And, you know, so we've really looked at all of those things, and we've seen that loyalty programs today really create a feeling at point of sale, but don't actually provide real value. And what we want with Frii is to provide a loyalty program using the XRP ledger that actually provides you real value in real time without you having to sacrifice your personal data. So, for example, you could go to a retailer, and in fact, this is the first innovation we showed when we did our partnership with Ripple, was that we actually connected Visa and the XRP ledger together in a single transaction. So you would go to a restaurant, you would buy a meal, you would swipe your loyalty card, Visa would approve your transaction, we would approve your loyalty transaction. So if you were getting 10% back, we'd convert that 10% into XRP and load it into your Zum wallet in real time. So you haven't even left the store yet, and you've been rewarded with exactly what you wanted in your wallet, ready for you to use. So our loyalty program is really looking at what the next generation consumer wants and really ticking those boxes. The last piece is obviously, if you see behind me, you see the logos. You know, this is where digital couponing comes in. We've been doing digital couponing for a while, you know, but technology really needed to move. Retail technology has been stagnant for the last few years, and really since COVID, it's being upgraded now, and Android operating systems have arrived, and new smarter terminals have arrived. And now that provides a much more efficient way for consumers to do couponing. So couponing is the other option. If you have a free coffee or a free ice cream, then you'll be compelled to use that. Whether it's sitting on blockchain or not doesn't really matter to a consumer. So that's where our last product fits in.
Got it. Now, is there a DApp, like a decentralized app that you use? How do people sign up for this?
Yeah, so we're using Zum. So our partnership is with Zum. It was one of the things that actually, when we first pitched our idea to Ripple and wanting to connect the ledger, they said actually building a wallet is an art form and something that, we should go and speak to the Zum team about, because they're really leaders in that, especially on the XRPL ledger. And in the early days, I was looking to create our own wallet, but after spending time with that team and meeting the CEO, Vitsa, and Micah, the team there, they're just awesome. There is no way that I could replicate a wallet like this. So what we've done is we've partnered with them, where now we are redesigning their wallet using X apps that sit above the wallet, but actually make it look and feel a lot more like a mainstream product rather than a trader-centric wallet.
Wow, that is awesome. And congratulations, by the way, on your Ripple grant.
No, thank you very much. It was, I think that the transaction that showed we're connecting both people in a single transaction actually made them think, whoa, this is possible, because I think before that, it was a very Visa and Mastercard would lead the payment type of environment. And I think from that demo that we did, to say, well, actually forget another device or another application, in a single transaction, we can hit Visa and the XRPL. I think that changed everything for our relationship with Ripple, and it's just been good ever since. So
think about how much this is simplifying your daily life, and to have your digital coupons, everything like that in one place. Like,
absolutely.
There's people that would spend hours clipping them, searching online, trying to find good deals.
Absolutely. And it's not only that, and it's showing it, the UI is so important, that our X app makes it nice, big buttons showing you key bits of information. It's something that we want you to go on to every day. This is not something that every once in a while that I should use. Actually, before you go out, you should see how many coupons, which retailers in your area are giving you something away right now. That should be something that sits together with your loyalty cards, sits together with, if you want to make a trade, all of it should be in one place, but it just needs, that UI needs to be a lot more simplified, because I think that the apps that I see, or the wallets that I see now, they're a bit overcomplicated for the everyday person, and they'll get there in time, but I just don't think that time is here. I think we need to start slowly and build these consumers as time goes on.
Do you are businesses and business owners, are they receptive to accepting crypto? What are you finding?
So this is, again, I think a retailer, so there's two parts of this, which again, are very important. People that are using Visa and Mastercard to do transactions at retailers are not, they don't want that product. And the reason they don't want that is because that Visa card is a premium card. It's costing them 3 to 4% to process that transaction. And they don't even know it's happening until the bill comes at the end of the month. So, these crypto.com cards and all of these cards are there, that's fine for first wave, but they're not helping retailers. What you really need to do is bring the cost down for retailers rather than add costs. So I think that, retailers are respected as long as you give them some value. Apart from people are going to come in and spend, and with us, we give them the data on spending. We allow them to communicate with consumers in their environment using our loyalty program, do campaigns with couponing. So they get so much more in return for allowing that service. And we charge the service at probably the lowest rate that Visa charges them. So I think that model works, but this just having a card that does crypto and a retailer wanting to accept it and pay 4% for it, I don't think that's something that retailers are really excited about.
Exactly. I guess, can you kind of walk through the transaction, what that process looks like? Because if I am at a coffee shop and I'm scanning with my Zum wallet, am I paying in USDT or like a euro if I'm in Europe on the XRPL, or can I pay in Bitcoin? What does that look like?
Right. So the Zum wallet actually has a great feature in it. It's called Pathfinding. And what that does is it actually allows us to set whatever we want the transaction to end, whatever currency we want the transaction to end in. So if a retailer is in Europe, they would want the transaction to end up in euros. And we allow the consumer to pick any asset that they have in their Zum wallet, and the transaction in real time converts that to whatever the retailer wants it to be out the other side. So you as the consumer, you can pick XRP or a stable coin or whatever you want to pay with. But when the transaction finishes and ends up in the retailer's bank account, it ends up as a euro or a pound or a dollar. So actually the retailer gets what they want and the consumer has the flexibility to pay with whatever they want.
Bam! There
Absolutely.
You have it. I love it. How many businesses are you in right now?
So we only launched our first transaction in Holland, I think it's now 4 or 5 months ago, and we're now upgrading the application to include loyalty. We've just applied for another grant with Ripple for the couponing element. So I think we still have some building to do, but the good news is we have just signed our first bank. I can't share the name with you now, but the bank has 20,000 retailers in the UK and have given us the green light. So again, this is now the history of doing payment for 20 years has taught me how you get product out to the mass market. And, there are probably 4 or 5 banks in the UK that control 70-80% of the devices that sit on the counters. So once those 4 or 5 banks have our application, and it's approved with Visa or Mastercard, it's something that they already have there. There's no reason for them to say no. That means that you will be able to cover pretty much 70-80% of this country. And the same with across Europe and into Asia. America obviously is a little bit harder right now because of your regulation, but hopefully in time, we can be there too.
Oh, don't even get me started on this regulation.
We even have a trial in Canada. So close. We're so close, but not quite there yet.
It's such a mess, but I'm happy to see it being developed everywhere. Just happy that it's happening. So what are your current plans right now? Because I know before we were chatting in the green room a little bit about how you break things down into your 100-day chunks. So what are you focused on right now?
So we have a system. We look at every 100 days and look at what we want to achieve in these next 100 days and how we can achieve that. It's something that I'm really passionate about, something that I've learned over the years. You need to set yourself a little deadline and what we want the team to achieve. And I think the first 100 days was to prove to the world that we had the capability to do what we were saying that we could do. That's been done now. We're live. We've showcased. We're at Paris Blockchain on stage, sharing it with the world. We've even showed it to David Schwartz at Consensus. Actually got David to get his own Zum wallet out and do a transaction with his own Zum wallet sitting next to me, and then to look at me and say, "That's so cool." I mean, for somebody like that and then for me to say, David, what have I missed here? Is there something? No, I don't think you've missed anything. You've thought it all. To have somebody like that validate, is brilliant. So I think that proving part of our journey is done now. And now we're just busy getting all the handles that we need so that loyalty. So it doesn't just go out as a Me Too, we can do payment. It just goes out as a solution that's an upgrade that makes payment better for everybody and something that's cost effective for the retail environment. So really it's building those products. And I think this year we'll continue to build. Like I said, we've got another grant coming through with Ripple for the couponing. And I think later on in the year when we will really start to turn some retailers on and really start doing some transactions. I mean, we're already getting interest from language schools, marinas, casinos. So there's a lot of interest there already, but we don't want to go too quickly because this is not just about doing payment. This is about providing an ecosystem, and that's going to take a little time for us to build.
I've got to tell you, to be able to get a seal of approval from David Schwartz, oh my gosh. And for him to tell you that he doesn't think you missed anything, like
honestly, it was even till today, it was very surreal because it's one of those things, you're locked in a room and you think you know what you're making and you push everybody to make it and you spend lots of money doing it and time and effort, and then it all comes down to that 5 minutes with David and it can go one way or the other, and so blessed that it went that way, but yeah, for me it's really now solidified the fact that we have the right solution now, and now it's all about getting out there as quick as possible. Absolutely. But he's amazing. I have to say, he's so kind, so amazing.
Absolutely brilliant. I've not had the pleasure of meeting him yet, but just, everybody in the XRP community, obviously we're all following, and he's just like,
no, absolutely. I took the, because we were actually, we were on stage again at Consensus and he did the opening fireside chat. So he was in the building. I was like, he's in the building. we're on stage next. As soon as I come off, I'm going to go and find him. So that's exactly what I did. So,
and you know what, I've got to say though, it's really cool because I've spoken to other Ripple grant recipients, and I have to say it's really nice to actually speak with someone, not that these NFT projects aren't building, but to speak with someone who's doing something different, actually changing the game and helping with adoption that's not a JPEG. So this has been quite refreshing.
No, thank you. And I really, if there's one message, we're not building this network for us, right? We're building this network and we're going to showcase what it can do. And then really we're opening it up to everybody that then wants to deploy a product at point of sale. Now the network is there. The ability to collect funds is there. Security is there. Everything that you need to even make some of these these NFT projects, whatever, real, now you have the mechanism to do that. One of the hackathons in Paris, there was some guys that made a loyalty program with local retailers, and they made it on the blockchain as part of the hackathon. I think they came second. They're only 18, I think 18, 17 or 18. But looking at them thinking, you've got so much talent, but your products is never going to reach mainstream because you don't have the experience to do that. But once we've connected everybody, products like yours could actually just go out. Because we've done the hard work. Now you can just use your brains to make it creative and fun, right? So this is for everybody. And I think some of these projects in time, will have the wheels to become much bigger because of what we're doing. Well,
absolutely. Got to start somewhere, but I feel like you have all the right connections that you're doing a great job building. Hey guys, we're getting blowed up in the live chat with some amazing questions. I'm going to pop to them next after I ask one more. So make sure you guys drop them in there and we'll get to them. I just want to ask you about your future plans. Like, give me, a couple years down the road where you see Free World.
Yeah. So really, it's a global product now. The world has become global. This is not something that we're doing for UK, Europe. Really, as many smart devices that are out there deployed, we want to be on as many of them as possible. And then just, if we are global, we're already doing trials in Dubai, in Canada, in Slovenia, in Paris, UK, Holland. So it's already becoming global. So really for us, our future plans is to connect just connect that world, connect those devices and connect the ledger, and then showcase and help people to deliver products and services that make the world better. One of the innovations that we're doing right now is we've made an unattended kiosk using our payment technology for Great Ormond Street. So now you can actually hopefully soon you'll be able to come to the Ripple office and you'll be actually able to donate using XRP or anything in your Zum wallet to Great Ormond Street using our unattended kiosk. So it's stuff like that actually real life use cases, really making things better. And wherever possible, we can do that. We're going to do that over the next few years.
Awesome. All right. I'm going to take it to the live chat. My first question is from Dave. Dave wants to know, does your solution work with other blockchains or wallets? Or are we just XRPL right now?
Right. So at the moment, it's only XRPL. It's not as easy. Every blockchain is different. The XRPL has some key features that other blockchains don't have. And I kind of, you've got the Bitcoin, Ethereum on one end, and then you've got the Solanas and Near and these guys on this end. And I think somebody in the middle needed really to power payments. And I think XRPL, it has the speed, it has the capability, it's secure, it's reliable, it's cost effective. A transaction really for retail needs to be as cheap as possible. And I think the XRPL provides that. So I think at the moment, this is probably the only blockchain that has the tools. The others will evolve over time, and I think like the Solanas and the Near, I think they're great blockchains, but they still have a little minute to go before they can get to doing what the XRPL does. As far as wallets is concerned, once we showcase the first wallet, because we're really remaking what we feel the wallet should be for the future, we really are at that design stage right now. Once that's done, then we'll probably open that up to other wallets to create something similar, but not at the moment. At the moment, it will be Zum only and XRP alone.
Very good. Thank you. Hopefully that answers your question there. Niall, what's up, buddy? My homie over at NF Tempo. Is Visa Mastercard required for your service? And can your service be implemented without a company utilizing Visa, for example?
Yeah, so yeah, technically, no, you don't need to have Visa or Mastercard because you can just get the device from us just doing crypto. But like I said, a payment comes with risk, fraud. There are so many elements to it, and providing a retailer that doesn't do Visa or Mastercard, just doing crypto, is actually very risky. It doesn't have the same history that a traditional retailer would have. So yes, now we can do it, and in some instances we will do it, but really we want to try and get it to the mass market, which is for everybody that's doing Visa or Mastercard, because at least we know then that a customer is approved, they've got good credit, that they are playing the Visa or Mastercard game, and Visa or Mastercard wouldn't provide them, especially in this day and age. Financial services are very hard for a retailer to get. So if they are getting Visa or Mastercard approval, it kind of makes our job a lot easier to give them approval on our side, because we're new. I'm sure in time, as we evolve and we provide the same acquiring services as Visa or Mastercard, then we'll be in a better place to be able to take more risk, but that will come in time.
Oh, it would help if I unmuted myself, wouldn't it? Yeah, my bad. Okay, so back to Ross. Hey, is the current lawsuit a restriction until trust is gained in the market through regulation for Ripple? And does the current lawsuit concern you due to growing your relationship with Ripple?
No, the lawsuit was very America-centric, so yes, in a perfect world, if the lawsuit comes out positive for us, then it helps us with obviously a big region like America, but also helps the bigger banks jump on board. So where we've signed our first bank, they're a smaller bank, they're a challenging bank, so they're hungry and they want to do new things. When you go to some of the bigger banks out there, they've got 3, 4, 5 million devices. They are not going to let crypto sit on that without regulation. So I think, in one way, it holds it without regulation. It holds us getting the bigger partners to play the game with us, and it holds us back with America. But it really doesn't stop us, because the world is still going to use blockchain services, and couponing and loyalty. These things are all outside of the SEC's remit anyway. Still using the blockchain, but things that are not financial services.
Okay, and kind of related to this, Niall asked another question. Is there any risk of XRPL tokens being securities or getting hammered by the FCA? Does this affect Free World at all?
No, I don't think at the moment. Not in the UK. Not for. I can't see anything like that coming for the UK. The UK and Europe are really open. They have their own regulations going through. And I think that, they can see that this is something that is not going to go away, and they are behind it. Whereas, America wants to control it, and I feel like that's why they're slowing it down. But I don't think that that's going to happen in the UK for sure. The FCA, it's outside of the remit for the FCA as far as I'm concerned right now.
Okay, great. Hopefully that answers your question. And another one from Niall. With it being on the XRPLs, will this essentially be in effect for all XRPL marketplaces?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Beautiful. That is all of the questions I have so far from the live chat. But is there anything that we haven't covered yet that you think that we should touch on?
No, just that, any support that you can give us. We really are trying to be that new standard rather than being just here to make money. It is more than that for us. So any support that you can give, and the users and people that are listening, follow us, help us, because the more we can get our name out there, the more people that know what we're doing, the easier it will become for us to be able to do this going forward. So any help in that regard would be great. And when we do an innovation or something new, just support us as much as you can, because the more you support us, the more the industry sees that the consumers want it. Because that's one of the questions that you always see. Do they actually want that? The 1% are happy. Do the 99% actually want that? And the more we can show that the 99% want stuff that's better, and we're providing it, the more that we'll get the support from the people that we need.
Well, right. People don't know that they need it because they don't know sometimes that it's available. And 100%. Once you show them that something like this exists, 100%. They've got to have it. Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
We were at Cambridge University just doing some, just a bit of learning. And we were asking students, when you went to have lunch and dinner whilst you're at university, if you could go to a place that will reward you in real time in cryptocurrencies, would you go to that retailer? Absolutely. 8 out of 10. Absolutely. That I would love to do that. So it's just finding those pockets of people that already want to play but are not able to because they don't have money. They don't want to take risks. But if you just did it for them and provided a mechanism for them to be able to play, actually they're ready to play. So it's stuff like that shows me that the world does want it, but we just got to package it and deliver it in a way that's going to appeal to them.
And absolutely. And just to add on to that, what do you think are the most effective ways to onboard people onto the XRP?
Loyalty is the one, the couponing and loyalty. That's the reason why I'm doing those 3 products is because, even my mom, I keep using this in meetings and everybody keeps laughing at me. But, if my mum's not going to use it, then we failed, right? My mum has to use it. Now, if you gave my mum a free ice cream, she's going to use it, right? She doesn't care how it's powered. She's going to do it. Or if you said to her, right, you swap this card and 10% of it's gone back onto your brilliant, and then you can come back and spend that time again. My mom is going to use it. So I just think that loyalty and couponing really are the tools to get people, whether they want to play or don't want to play, they're gonna play because it's free. And that comes all the way back to where we started. Why we're called Free is because we're going to try and give as much free value, free upgrade for the retailer, not free transaction processing, but very cost effective, free coupons, free loyalty. It's all about giving free stuff back in exchange for getting that activity. And I think that's the combination that makes us a little bit different from the others.
Absolutely. And I think that, in this world, any chance that people have to save a little money, they're into it. And loyalty programs are the best way to gain returning customers. And I know that from having a small business myself. So I absolutely love what you're doing. So brilliant.
And especially, when we've done that, you see people that, I just paid for my meal and now, it was £50. And now the retailer gave me 20% off. So now I've got £10 in XRP in my wallet. And then by the time I get home, it went up. Now it's £11. So hold it up. It takes them a minute to get around what's happening, and I think that it's that kind of feeling that really excites me, is that you look at that and you think that's cool, right? I mean, I will do that again because that just seems like a better way to pay, right? Some more value from my payment.
Absolutely. Guys, you can check out Free World, not Frii, because your homegirl made that mistake, but it's FRII World. And on Twitter, it's at Free World, FRII World on Twitter. And your website is freeworld.com. And I have those links posted down below, so you'll be able to go check that out and do all of your research on there. There's also a great article that I posted below from Zum with their partnership. So you definitely want to read that. It'll help answer any questions as well, get you really excited for what they have going on. Thank you so much for making some time today, Farhaan. I really appreciate that.
My pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for inviting us.
Yes, you're so welcome. Come back anytime. See ya.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.